Hi folks, Steve Capozzi, the Adventuring and Camping School in Northeast Thailand. I'm going to start a series of videos on the collection and treatment of water for drinking purposes. Of course, it's very important in a survival situation to be able to find water, collect water, strain it, filter it, and then boil it to disinfect the water to make it safe for drinking. You notice I said strain the water. If you just strain the water through a cloth material, that's not being filtered, that's straining the water, but you can make makeshift water filters, which is for a future video. This video is just a quick introduction into the items and kit, things that you should have in your kit and gear that can help you collect and treat water to make it safe for drinking purposes. And these are all multifunctional items that quite often I've already talked about in previous videos, so I'll just go through the items one by one. Basically there are 7 main items that you want, or groups of items that you want, and then there are a few bonus items which I'll talk about. So the first item is cotton balls. I've already spoken about cotton balls as a means to make fire in my fire making playlist. I've got numerous videos where I talk about cotton balls. I advocate taking cotton balls. It's a very cheap and handy item to have as tinder, as a portable fuel, but it's also multi-use. That's why I advocate cotton balls. There's at least 3 uses straight off the bat. Obviously to make fire. It's a first aid tool. You can clean with water and alcohol, you can clean wounds, and to make makeshift water filters. I'll talk about the actual water filters that you make in a future video, but that's your first item is cotton balls. Obviously you want metal containers, a metal water bottle that happens to be a cheap thin aluminium type. You can boil water in that, and also cooking pots. At least one, some sort of a metal container you can cook and boil water in, and 2 metal containers are better. I'll talk about why I believe in having 2 metal containers in future videos, but they're metal water containers that you need to boil water in. The next items are PET plastic water bottles. Now, your first choice water bottle should be a metal water bottle so you can boil water in that if you have to in an emergency. But you can take plastic water bottles as well. Your plastic water bottles should be just your normal clear PET water bottles. I know it's PET. If I look at the bottom, there's a symbol that says PET. You can use these clear plastic bottles to disinfect water. If you leave them in the sun, the UV radiation in the sun will kill bugs. That's a way to disinfect water. You want PET water bottles because PET, some plastics can block UV sun, but PET doesn't. That's why you need PET. This one's a 1.5 litre water bottle. It's 8 centimetres in diameter. If you get more than 10 centimetres of water depth, they can block UV, so 8 centimetres should be okay. Smaller bottles are okay. Now 600ml bottles and so forth, 1.2 litre bottles. These are all PET bottles. That happens to be a Coke bottle, that's a Gatorade bottle. So clear plastic bottles, remove the labels, and that's another option. Next is cloth materials, whether it be your survival wraps, your tea towels, bandanas, handkerchiefs and so forth. You can strain water through these and you can use these to make a makeshift water filter. Notice again I said strain water. That's the first step, is to strain water through a cloth material. That's not filtering water, it's a straining water. You're going to strain out large particles and so forth. Your cloth material, you can double over, triple over to make it thicker and so forth. And your other choice is to take a piece of material that you're going to use it just for straining water, to save messing up or mucking up your bandanas and tea towels and survival wraps. If you have a piece of material that you're going to say, I'm just going to filter water in that, you can still use it for all the other emergency purposes the cloth materials can be used for, but it's just used for filtering water. Again, you can double it over, triple it over. If it's cotton, you can make char cloth, it's a container, first aid item and so forth. So they're cloth materials that you need to have. Fire making, of course, you're making fires to boil water. That's an obvious. I talk about my fire kits that you can build in my fire making playlist. And of course your knives and tools. You can use knives and tools to make your tripods and quad pods, to make makeshift water filters. You can use your knives and tools to cut branches and roots and so forth. There'll be future videos to collect water. And a few bonus items. You've got perhaps a latex tube. I'll talk about a latex tube in future videos. You can make slingshots, you can suck up water. You can use that with solar stills and transpiration bags to suck water out instead of having to take the whole thing apart. You can use those. I'll talk about that in a future video. Just another option, that's a sneak peek at latex tubes. Then of course plastic bags and plastic sheets. At least 1 by 1 square metre plastic sheets. You can make solar stills, you can make transpiration bags over branches. There'll be future videos. If you don't have standing water, there are options to collect water from plant material and so forth. There'll be future videos. And of course your tarp and ground sheets, perhaps you can rig up to collect rainwater, and that might be a future video as well. So they're all just the quick items that you need in your kit. They're items you should already have that I advocate, but they're all multi-use items, and all those items can help you affect the collection and disinfection of water for drinking purposes. Stay tuned for future videos where I'm going to make my makeshift water filters out of containers and cloth materials. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you next time.